In the world of Exandria, there exist many entities of great power and potential. Beings able to shape and mold the world how they see fit, whether that be to its benefit or its destruction. Many in the world of Critical Role are familiar with the primary pantheon of deities, the great Prime Deities and their betrayer god brethren, who are said to be responsible for molding the world of Exandria into the place that we know it today. But they are not alone, for in Exandria, a whole pantheon of beings of power and lesser idols exist, all vying for the faith and power of its many mortals and people. Hello everyone, welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. Join me today as we discuss the many deities and gods of Exandria in Critical Role. And let me tell you, there's a lot. Just to note, this video will contain spoilers for the mini Critical Role campaign, so consider yourself warned. The many cultures of Exandria have differing beliefs on how it was that life came to be on this planet. Many believe that long ago a group of beings came to this world, which at the time was a place of elemental chaos and fury. In the chaos, these beings thought to create order and structure, thus they created life. These beings of great power are what the peoples of Exandria would later refer to as the gods, though at this time they were shapeless, formless. It is believed that through their creation's worship, these gods would develop the forms that we know them of as today. At this point, there was no betrayer, no prime deity, just beings of power. Of course, this would change in the Great War of the Schism, a war between gods, one faction wanting to protect their creations, while the other sought to destroy and begin anew. These factions would come to be known as the Prime Deities and the Betrayer Gods, respectively. The Prime Deities consisting of Exandria the Changebringer, the goddess of travel, Bahamut, the creator of dragons, Karelin, the creator of elves, Arathis, the goddess of civilization and law, Ayun, the goddess of knowledge and prophecy, Kord, the god of storms and warfare, Melora, the goddess of the wild and the sea, Moradin, the god of craft and creation, Pelor, the god of the sun, Sarenrae, the goddess of redemption, Sehanine, the goddess of moonlight and illusions, and an unnamed god of death, who hundreds or perhaps thousands of years later would be struck down, replaced by an ascended mortal mage now known as the Raven Queen. Their godkin antagonists, which are referred to as the Betrayer Gods, are generally reviewed as evil deities. They consist of Asmodeus, the Lord of the Hells and the Father of Lies, Bane, the Strife Emperor, the creator of goblinkind and the god of conflict and tyranny, Grumsh the Ruiner, the god of warfare and slaughter, Lolth the Spider Queen, the goddess of deceit and spiders, Tiamat the Scaled Tyrant, the goddess of envy and greed, and mother of chromatic dragons, Torog the Crawling King, the god of enslavement and torture. Finally, Zahir, the Cloaked Serpent, the god of poisons and assassins. It is not known exactly what began the War of the Schism, the war that would divide the gods. Many believed it was the gifting of divine magic to the mortals that drove the betrayers to conflict, while others believed that the betrayers felt overshadowed by their prime deity kin, as their gifts and creations were not nearly as valued as highly to the mortals of Exandria. Regardless of the reason, the consequences of the battle between the gods is still felt on Exandria to this day. In addition to our primary pantheon, there were once two other gods who made up the first deities on Exandria: Ethodoc, the Endless Shadow, the god of darkness and winter, and Vordo, the Fate Shaper, the god of fate and order. Both of these deities would be destroyed at some point between the Age of the Founding and the Schism by another being, a being so powerful that it could destroy and devour gods, a being known as Predathos. Not much is known at the time of recording about Predathos and its nature, though some do worship it and its powers seem to resemble a god or idol. What is known is that Predathos came to Exandria from far beyond the stars, similar to the gods. Predathos, though, would bring destruction upon Exandria. Resisting the divine magic of the gods, Predathos created twisted life forms which would run rampant on the planet. After Predathos devoured Ethodoc and Vordo, the remaining deities sought the aid of the great primordials of Exandria. Together they took a piece of Exandria and sealed Predathos inside of it, this prison becoming the second moon of Exandria, the great red moon of Ruidus, which still imprisons Predathos to this day, though few in Exandria know such a tale. Another god, Vecna, is commonly grouped with the betrayer gods, though they were not one of the original deities to come to Exandria. No, Vecna was once a powerful mage who sought immortality, eventually becoming an all-powerful lich. Though this thirst for power was not enough, for Vecna, who wished to follow in the Raven Queen's footsteps, tried to ascend to godhood, eventually succeeding around 812 PD, where Vecna would ascend to godhood on the Prime Material Plane, though he would be defeated and sealed away shortly afterwards by the adventuring party Vox Machina. Another entity exists on Exandria that is believed to be older and more powerful than the gods, the Luxon. Worshipped by the Drow Kryn dynasty, the Luxon is believed by the Kryn to be the source of life and the purpose of all things in Exandria. According to the Kryn, the Luxon was once a single light that emerged from the creation point of the universe, but instead of settling into the world, this light sought self-knowledge, traveling until it came upon a lonely rock. The Luxon embraced this rock of Exandria, and according to the Kryn, gave it life and potential. Having now created the foundations for life, the Luxon would scatter itself across Exandria into many beacons, in the hopes that one day it would be reassembled, at which point it would ask, "What am I, and what is my purpose?" While these gods are oftentimes viewed as the main pantheon of Exandria, there exists a whole host of other lesser gods and lesser entities and idols who vow for worship from the many mortals of this world. For example, Hormoroth, the god of the Sahuagin, definitely butchered that, or the Sea Devil people. Lodgr, the god of strength and conquest, who is worshipped by the Duragar people. Orcus, the demon prince of undeath, and considered god of necromancy, who looks to spread his dark influence across the world, not very much different than a betrayer god. Ceratoos of the Many Minds, a strange being from the far realm. Ceratoos is thought to be one of the oldest beings in this entire world of Exandria, and is regarded by some as an elder evil. It is said they reside deep within the bowels of the planet, using its power to influence the minds of people of Exandria to pursue chaos. Deseret, the Twilight Phoenix. Once the mount of the betrayer god Asmodeus, Deseret would be imprisoned in Mount Mentiri by the original Cerberus assembly in the Great War of Gods known as the Calamity. In the decades following the Calamity, humans began worshipping this being, eventually granting its status as a lesser idol. Godric, the Moonlit Wolf, the former companion of Pervonsul, the mortal champion of the Raven Queen. Godric would achieve lesser idol status sometime around 836 PD, when denizens of the Parchwood, near the city of Whitestone, began making offerings to said wolf, which can now grant some power to mortals as a patron. The Hag Mother, believed to be the eldest and mother of all hags in Exandria, she is a lesser-known idol associated with knowledge and trickery. Next, Naviask, one of the more fascinating of the lesser idols. Naviask was once a Balor demon who was transformed into a Fey spirit by the Archfey Queen, Tatiana. This Fey being now wanders the wasteland of Xhorhas, where he seeks to heal the land, and is a minor deity of life and nature. Quajath, thought to be created by Torog in the Calamity. This great worm-like being was originally used as a scout in the Great War of the Gods. It was presumed dead in the fighting, however, it managed to survive, burying itself deep within the ice of Isocross, where it is now trapped even to this day. Over the years, Quajath began to rise as a lesser idol as it exudes telepathic control over those who reside near it for long enough. Uk'otoa, the Leviathan Lord. Uk'otoa, similar to Deseret and Quajath, was once a tool of the betrayer gods in the Calamity. A great serpent-like entity, Uk'otoa was said to have been created by Zahir, where it was used to control the many oceans of Exandria. After the end of the Calamity and the sealing of the betrayer gods, Uk'otoa was left to rule the Lucidian Ocean. The powerful Leviathan, fancying itself a god, began to force the people of this ocean to worship him. The lesser deity would eventually be sealed away by the followers of Zahir, though sometime later he would be released, and then again eventually sealed away by the adventuring party, the Mighty Nine. The Sightless, a chaotic evil entity of the Far Realm, considered to be a lesser deity or idol, perhaps even associated with the Great Old One. Little is known of the Sightless. Most notably was one of the being's followers, a powerful arcanist who during the Age of Arcanum brought destruction across Exandria, fueled by the power of the Sightless at the cost of his sanity. Sahydon, the Keeper of the Savage Heart, is a lesser entity of the Wild Mother, worshipped by the Gorgine, a tribe of werewolves. This deity was a spirit created by the Wild Mother in order to represent the feral spirits of the jungle. The Traveler, possibly one of the most fascinating beings on our list of lesser idols and gods, the Traveler was once just an archfey named Artagan, who managed to trick many mortals of Exandria into worshipping him as a god, thus granting him said abilities of a lesser idol, of nature and trickery. As in this world, when worship is dedicated towards a powerful entity, the nature of said entity begins to shift. Next, Zalakas, once a great powerful solar celestial. She was wounded during the Calamity, her injuries never recovering. Once the right hand of Corellin, the angel now realms the material plane, looking to repair the damage of the Calamity and prevent future conflicts from beginning, oftentimes by sharing her powers with said mortals. Finally, we have the Elemental Eidolons, entities of great elemental chaos thought to be the children of the primordial titans. These beings are worshipped by the many druidic people of Exandria and can form bonds with archdruids. In addition to these many named lesser idols, there exists a host of other powerful entities in this world with the ability to grant powers to mortals, and as such are worshipped and revered by many. Many of these entities are sought out by warlocks hungry for power, hungry to make a pact. For example, great and powerful archfey, evil and corrupt archdevils, chaotic and deviant demon lords, creatures of light and empathy like the Celestials, and even certain mortals can become powerful enough to where they themselves are worshipped and followed, these mortal champions being able to share their powers with those who serve and follow them. As you can see, the state of divinity on the world of Exandria is no simple thing. With the influence of the Prime Deities and Betrayer Gods weakened after the Divergence, many other lesser entities and idols began to rise. Likely there are even more lesser gods in this world of Exandria that we are yet to encounter in our stories, and it's likely that as time passes, we will learn more and more about the natures of the gods themselves and how they emerged on this world of Exandria. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy the video, learn something new, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to see more Critical Role lore content, then please click on screen now. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Until next time, peace, love, adu. Born in 1980, said it's 95. Yeah, some of the best albums of all time.